Alright, Hullers, what's happening on this Tuesday evening? I'm meant to be going to karate tonight, but not gonna lie, I'm taking a dive. I was at jiu-jitsu yesterday with Christopher, and I got fucking soaked. I mean, I was drenched by the time I got down there. It's only a short walk, you know what I mean? It's not like it's fucking a very large distance to cover. But I had to walk down, so I had to walk to my bank yesterday to put a check in the bank, right? And then walk back, get ready with Christopher to go to class. And I've got two different waterproof jackets, but see by the time I got home for walking to the bank to put the check in, my jacket was fucking, it was ringing, it was dripping fucking wet. So then I had to change into my other one for the walk back down to jiu-jitsu. But I was back to the grind on Monday as you do in it, after just sitting, no moping all week. But I get like that, as I've said in other videos, just when I need to process stuff, I like to go into my bubble. It's kind of like coping mechanisms that I used in prison being transplanted to the outside world. Because before I ever done prison time, well, especially when I'd done maybe my first sentence or whatever, and you would need to process some sort of large kind of emotional whatever, you would just go straight out, find all the troops, blah blah blah, start getting up to whatever. But now, it's like the older you get, the more I need to be not on my own, but if your energy doesn't match mine, then I can't be in your company, because there's just something off. And it's no paranoia, so whatever it is, it's just that feeling that's like, I don't know, I can't be here because we're not on the same wavelength. And that applies to not just people who have been in prison or whatever. So if you were a citizen, you were a straight peg, and you sat with me, but 20 years ago, you would be like, who the fuck is this character? So it's not just people that have been in prison that are like this, it's just human beings. But obviously, when I need to process shit, I like to just kind of be in my bubble. Obviously, I still have contact with people and family, friends, whatever. But I don't like a noisy house. Like, you get the people who they've got constant traffic in the house all day, every day, hundreds of kids and their pals and all that. I can't deal with that. That reminds me of prison, but it's just kids. Like in prison, there's traffic everywhere, and my brain is almost like that overactive, that I'm trying to process every piece of stimuli, and that's where the panic attacks start kicking in, because I'm trying to process that much that my brain just needs quiet. So that's all I'm trying to say. But anyway, I know bother you with all that fucking shit. You know what I mean? So as I says, I'm taking a dive tonight. Just felt like it. I had to take my son to an appointment this afternoon, and ended up taking him for something to eat, and come back home, and I beat myself up about it. But see, when I see a lot of people that like, and I'm not judging them, because obviously I've not lived my life 100% at times, even if I don't know, know what I mean, but compared to where I was before. But I sit and go, like, you beat yourself up for like no making a class. There's people out there that are doing a lot worse, but you know what I mean, we're all different, and you know what I mean. But anyway, so I wanted to come on and talk about my experiences of HMP Castle Huntley, right? So Castle Huntley, for those of you that don't know, is an open prison just on the outskirts of Dundee, right? And if you say, what's an open prison? It's basically a prison with no fence, no bars, no fucking locks, no nothing, just screws, right? And I was transferred to HMP Castle Huntley from Shotts Prison in November, I nearly said 1996, 2006. I was in Shotts and went to a place called Care House in Shotts, which is basically where you need to be in Shotts if you want to go to Castle Huntley. But obviously this was before they've flattened Shotts and rebuilt it. There's no such thing as Care House anymore. But anyway, so I'd sailed through Shotts. And when I say sailed through, what I mean is I'd no reports for fighting, wasn't getting rolled up, caught with weapons, phones, hooch, whatever, the kind of things that would hold you back from moving to Castle Huntley, where you get weekend leaves and all this shit, right? So I'm lying in my bed one day, right, and this big screw, no say his name, but it was actually one of kind of alright ones. He's walked in, right, and I was actually lying in my bed, right, and he's like, yeah, what's happening? I was like, and I would carry on with him, right? I would just like have a bit of banter, and I'd be like, get the fuck, yeah, prick, I'm trying to get beauty sleep, coming across as pure serious, but it's just banter. And he's like, what, you know, want the castle then? And I'm like, see, like, when you say to a dog, you want to go it? See, like that. And like, fucking right, I do. So anyway, I think a week later, I get shipped up. And I can't remember how many is went. I think there was like 2 or 3 years, right? And we picked guys up for another jail, and I can't even fucking remember what jail it was. But anyway, we're all sitting in the reception, and there was guys that get transferred for. It might have been the old Low Moss, right? And we're all sitting in reception, and it was taking ages, man. I mean, ages, right? And I had all my uni books, right? And I heard one of the screws going, whose fucking books are these? Because there was that many of them. And I'm sitting thinking, I'm saying nothing, mate. In case I end up getting fucking returned to Shotts for having too many books, whatever. Just joking. But anyway, when I first landed there, it was like, how do I put it? I almost felt like I was getting tossed into a refugee camp. And what I mean by that is, it was almost like I've gone for this kind of extreme where your doors are locked, you're counted fucking 3 times, 4 times a day, how many other times it was, in Shotts. Like, you need a screw to take you from A to B, no matter where it is outside the hall. You can't move outside the hall without somebody taking you somewhere, opening doors here and there. And then I just get dropped into this fucking, it's like a no man's land, right? It was like what the fuck, what is going on here? You need to go everywhere yourself, do everything for yourself, and I was like, this is nuts, right? But there was obviously a lot of people there who I knew from Shotts and wherever, guys you know from maybe past time, whatever. And when I was there was a place called Murray House, Wallace House and Bruce House, right? But when I went up there, Murray House was where like you started, where your time in Castle Huntley began, but that's where all the bandits were and all the guys that were punting and all this kind of shit. There was A section, B section, C section. I remember it was my second day there, right? My second day. And I met this guy I knew for Shotts, right? And we had this mad plot to sneak out of the prison and go and buy 2 litres of vodka, right? And we got to like the periphery of the prison, and it was almost like, I don't know how to put it, like, come on, we'll just do it. No, what if this? But what that? See, like, starting arguing and debating for ages, and then somebody just done that. Fuck it, Mum will just pay one of the addicts. They used a different word. Mum will because there's a lot of drug use up. In fact, it was rife. It was just like any other prison I've been in, right? But this guy for Edinburgh, and we're talking the winter, right? He was dressed in a pair of fucking Hib shorts and a Hib strip. It was if like he must have got arrested with this shit on, and he's never had a fresh set of clays held in. So this was like the clays that must have been on his rack. So we walked back into the jail, right? My pal went and done that. Era tenner for a bag if you go down to the shop and get us 2 litre of vodka, right? And but you're taking a heavy fucking risk doing this because see if they do account, somebody sees you leaving the prison, or if the fucking people in the people serving him the alcohol in the shop phone the prison and say some guy with a strange accent was in here buying alcohol, blah blah blah, because you're in Dundee, mate, so if you're not got a kind of local accent, they know straight away you must be for the prison. So anyway, we're sitting in this cell, right? I mean, me and the cell this guy shared, right? The guy I knew for shots. And I'm sitting like, Jinky will come back, Jinky will get caught, blah, 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 right? Just as you do, right? And I swear to God, we're sitting there for I don't know how long it was, right? It was a long wait anyway. Now, we first see like the knock on the door, because in Castle Huntley, you have like the kind of, I don't know, you just turn the lock on the inside and open the door, do you know what I mean? And opened it, and this guy's burst in the room. It was this, the guy we sent to the shop, and he was fucking caked in muck. His trainers were fucking Air Max Classic on. They were white when he left, but they were brown when he came back. He must have been running through fields and it's wet. So see when you're running through a field, you've been chased with the cops or chased with the other schemes, whatever, and you're running through a big field and your feet are just sinking right down into the muck. That's the way his trainers were, right? And I'm pissing myself laughing. My mate's given me tenner, but obviously I couldn't get into these bottles of vodka quickly enough, because obviously it's been off the street a few years and you're just in the castle, whatever. So we ends up fucking getting steaming, right? And we were passing a mobile about, and it was this guy across phase. It's like his turn on the phone, blah blah blah. But I was choking for a shot of his phone, and know who his co-pilot was. This cunt. His co-pilot was for Colombia, but he's no anybody like high up. He's obviously a mule. Any Colombian gets caught in Scotland is a mule for that country. You wouldn't catch your kind of high up fucking whatever letter here, know what I mean? They'd be like, what? I'm not gonna there send one of Wayne's to deal with that, innit? But remember I went and chapped his door, wrecked out my nuts. I thought he's taking ages on that, but it wasn't even the Colombian that had the phone, it was his co-pilot, mad white cunt, right? And I'm like, he's taking fucking ages, man. I've waited the door and pull up, boom, 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 12 o'clock at night or something, wrecked out my nut, and the Colombian cunt's asked doors, like, what's happening with that phone? He's like, said something in Spanish, and I wasn't even doing Spanish at the time, so fuck knows what he said. What, fuck it, way back in the gaff. But aye, that was just my kind of intro up there, right? But it was absolute party central in that jail when I was there, for November 2006 to like April 2007. And I remember I'd been up there a few months, and my my co-accused came up for Pullman, one of my co-accused, and me and him ended up sharing a cell. He was getting home leaves, but I was getting treated like a special case, and it was really, really stressing me out. And when I say a special case, what I mean is like, they were treating me like somebody who shouldn't have been in that prison, and I'll explain that. So obviously, I've explained in other videos and podcasts about how when I was 15, a schoolboy, I was convicted in the High Court, and during that sentence I'd been sent to the state hospital for an assessment period. So this is a new sentence. This is the adult system, not the child system, the young offender system, but they were pulling up all this shit for the young offender system, and I was like sitting in these meetings. They're called RMT, Risk Management Team, and I'd get called to these like every fucking 4 weeks or something, and it was just a pure game of mental chess. It would be like the psychologist, the psychiatrist, fucking a mental health nurse, a governor, a screw, a social worker, and I'm just sitting like, what the fuck is going on here? It wasn't that side. It wasn't a pleasant experience because at first I couldn't figure out why I was being treated like this. If all the stuff that you're going on about happened in the young offender system, and then I've went to the adult system and no shown any of these signs of fucking maladaptive behaviour. Like I'd already started my degree and I had no reports. I hadn't been in one fight or anything, so I was like, why am I being treated like this? But I guess what they were trying to do was see if the change was for real, and I totally get that, but it was for real, mate. I'm sitting here talking about it now, fucking how many years later, but it was just a fuck about. And to be honest, the only reason, if I could go back in time, the only reason, if I knew what I know now, I would only go back to the castle for the parties that we had, and that would be it. Because when I went there, I wasn't even getting like home leaves or nothing. They were staging them. What I mean by that is, so say you come up to Castle Huntley at the same time as me, or fucking 3 months after me, right? So by their own policy, you're supposed to get 3 days at home out with the prison. So you go out on the Wednesday and come back on the fucking Friday, whatever it is, right? Friday to the Monday. But I think they took away the weekend ones because weekends, right, or if they know everybody's out drinking, full of gear, doing this, doing that back then, right? So they started giving people their home leaves through the week. Whatever it was, right? Can't remember what days it was, like Monday to the Wednesday or Monday to Thursday, something like that, right? And I was told I was getting right, this is funny. I would leave the prison at 7 in the morning to be back at 7:30 at night, and travelling from Dundee to Glasgow on a train and back in the same day. I don't know if you know, but it's not like getting a taxi for fucking Govan to fucking Postal or whatever, know what I mean? We're talking a pure mission on a train. So I was spending more time on the train than I was at my home leave at my address, right? And I'm just sitting like, cocksuckers, know what I mean? But what can you do in it? So while we were up there, we were having these mad ecto parties, right? Can't mind who, I think it was a Green-Up boy or something, man. We're just getting, there was hundreds of ectos, right? And they weren't showing up on the drug test, and there was hundreds of us, man. I'm talking about 9 of us all sitting in a gaff, right? And we're all just sitting, man, chinslets swinging bricks, man. And nobody get pulled, nobody gave a fuck. It was mad, right? And I remember with like when I was in C-section, dubbed up with my co-accused, me and my pal Jai from Pollock, who was the boy that we were taking the acid and shots together. Me and him and this mad English guy, right? This English guy was in not a disabled cell, but it was a much bigger cell than all the regular cells. And we were sitting around this circular wooden table, and the three of us were on phones. Like, I'm on a mobile phone, he's on a mobile phone, he's on a mobile phone. But I'm sitting smoking a doobie, right? And the mad English guy next to me smoking a doobie. So I'm passing my doobie to Jai on the phone. And then him next to me is passing his to me. And I'm sitting going, I don't know how much merry these fucking doobies I can smoke, man. Because I don't smoke, so I thought my lungs were going to fucking burst, know what I mean? Oh, what, man? See, I don't know how we get away with that for as long as we did, to be honest, but fuck it, innit? But this was going on constant, and there was people taking a lot stronger things than a bit of solid or even ectos. And I remember there was these mad women, I don't know if they were social workers or whatever, right? And they were saying to me, what, you trying to say you've not took the ectos that are showing up in drug tests? And I'm sitting like, what do you mean am I trying to say it? Know what I mean? Am I saying it, fuck's sake, know what I mean? But brutal, mate. Just couple of crazy things happened that I've done other videos about and all that. This cunt for shots phoning me, kidding on, he was somebody who I'll no name, but heavy fun right out, mate. It was just, but I met him after it and just kind of laughed it off and all that, but know what I mean? If that was me doing that, I'd probably get rolled up in a fucking sleeping bag, know what I mean? But hey ho on it. But it was, and there was almost like no violence. You never heard the violence up there and shit. But one thing I will say is when people are saying things about sex offenders, right? See, when you go to Castle Huntley, they're almost like, so hinky prisoners as a group. Well, in Castle Huntley, these sex offenders are prisoners within a prisoners, like a group within a group. So they sit their cell, they've got their own table, like, and you might be thinking like, how's nobody slashing them? How's nobody? Well, because when you go to the open prison, this is how it is. You already know this before you go there. You just don't mix with them. You don't speak to them. You don't acknowledge them, and hopefully with a bit of fucking luck, man, you see one of them fucking slipping on a banana peel, know what I mean? And you can tell a lot of them, you know what table it is anyway, but you get the idea, a lot of fucking dirty Santas, homeless Santas, man. Scuzzballs, know what I mean? But this is a thing I know, right? You'll see screws that, see if a screw didn't like your face, right? In the open prison, and he wanted to what we call downgrade you, i.e. send you back to whatever jail you came for, you're not getting out, you're not getting this, you're not getting that, he would just basically fucking be like, I seen you no talking to them, you're trying to bully them, I'm trying to bully a beast because I'm not speaking to him, like you fucking having a laugh. But this is the way it works, this is what you call soft power as opposed to hard power. Hard power's 5 screws running in your cell and smashing your head in with a couple of truncheons. But the soft power would be, say I'm a screw, right, and you come into my hall, and I just don't like the look of you, or I know what you're in for, and I don't like you, or you hurt somebody that I know, or whatever, right? And I go, I'm gonna fuck you up, mate, first chance I get, without getting caught. So half of these screws are just fucking cons with shirts on, know what I mean? If you ask me, and they get away with it, do you know what I mean? But they're not all like that. But my experience of them in there wasn't like that. And I remember, so I was texting, I ended up getting in touch with this mad Italian lassie, because I've got a good knowledge of Italian, right? I studied it for I was 12, right, on and off. And I ended up constantly texting her, and I was texting her in Italian, right, and asking her questions, and she was answering, and so that was my way of testing her, and she knew what I was saying, and I was like, she's legit, holy fuck. And I remember I changed the settings in my mobile phone to Italian. It was this wee tiny Nokia, like that size, mate. You could have swallowed this thing, mate. We're talking a long time ago, but we're talking 2006, 2007, right? And I remember when they were, as we say, carting me, i.e. basically bursting in your cell and going, you're going back to Shorts, you're going back to Berlin, whatever jail you came for, right? So I'm lying in my bed one day, right? And my phone was charging behind the CD player, because we had CD players back then. And fucking my co-accused, he was in the bunk above me, right? And I'm lying sleeping, and I'm like that. Next thing I've woke up and all these screws are storming me, like, Pat, get dressed, you're going back to Shots via Berlin. So obviously I just starts putting my shit back home. One of them's done that and looked behind the CD player, the big hi-fis you used to get with the speakers, and he's looked at it and done that. Here, whose phone's that? And I've just no even acknowledged you've just found a mobile, mate. He's that, is that yours? And looked at my co-accused, and he's that, lifted his head up from underneath the covers and that. No, is it yours? I was like, yeah, man, too funny, mate. But he looked like he's like I'm keeping that. And I was like, I can't wait till you get home, mate, and see the settings on in a foreign language, you fucking dafty. Aye, man, because it just looked pure shifty, like, as if I could tell he was thinking, I'm going to give this to my daughter, it's a phone, it's a free phone. I'm sitting going, I wait till you get home. Too funny. But, I just you're constantly seeing shit about that place, but do you know what I mean? I'm sure I heard back in the 80s it was a fucking place for young offenders or something, but obviously I was still in school then, know what I mean? So I didn't really um, experience it until I was in my 20s, do you know what I mean? But it's a fucking shambles, mate, if I'm honest, but you know what? We need some sort of kind of training for freedom, as they call it, but it's a hoop jumping exercise, man. Just a pure hoop jumping exercise, like a chessboard. It's what I call it, snakes and ladders without the ladders in it. Fucking bams, man. But I had some right good parties up there, man. All sorts of boys that I met for other jails, and as I'm saying, it came up for shots by me, but not used to do my nothing, right? There was boys coming up for shots like 3 months after me, right? And then they would all come down to my cell and tell me how their home leaves went, and I wasn't even getting any. It took me 6 months to even get a day out to Glasgow, mate. Pure pants. But fuck it, innit? Sitting here now with the last laugh, know what I mean? So, but aye, mate. Anyway, I'm going to boost anyway. I've got more ideas for videos and that as well, and see the thing is, I know I had watched something on an old Crime Watch video that has piqued my interest about that video, the last video that I done. So I'll be interested to speak about that because it's quite a high profile case, the one I'm talking about. So stay tuned and I'll be back on soon. But anyway, you all take care, have a good Tuesday evening, and I'll see you next time I'm on. Over and out.